what a year that we've actually put together, and think today is the 2nd of December, and I probably have found back and reflected on what we've done. We've actually onboarded staff that we've never met face to face before in our office. Like, I got lucky enough to meet Harry the other day and Josh for the first time, and I, employed people. For me, not on top of that as well, is we're actually now interviewing through Zoom and more of that. But what I've actually also recognised that as with the years gone on, would be fair to say we've been more and more connected as an industry, more and more connected as an organisation, and certainly more and more connected in helping each other like we've never done before. So I think it's absolutely exciting with that. And I think a simple one like that is like Helen's put out there before last week, and as you said, looking somewhere for a son, and now what we're actually doing is collectively working together. Some of us have actually enjoyed the lockdown. I'm got to put my hand up and say I was one of them. I didn't mind it at the start, got a little bit bored at the end, but I also can reflect on the fact that I actually got closer to my daughters than I've ever done before, and to my wife. We had meals at home at the kitchen table regularly, which I haven't done I actually haven't done it forever. Like, if I actually grew up in my household to have dinner at home, I think I could count 6 times I actually had dinner at a dining room table in my house growing up, but yet I would have had this multiple times through this. So for me, some of the things I've learned through the whole COVID experience is just the gratitude and actually a clear understanding the small things are worth a hell of a lot more than the big things, and time spent with family and friends. You'll never get that again, and you'll cherish that more than ever. So on top of that, from a corporate perspective, and I'll let Jason run this, and unfortunately Jason Addison can't be here today because he's got something else on, that we've also introduced a new training platform for next year, which seems to be going absolutely fantastic. On top of that, we've now got our Collective Wednesdays on the go. We've got a PM Council. We've had award-winning property managers in our organisation, and from a corporate team led by Jace. On top of that, you've also got the #1 salesperson and the #1 property management, and I'm led to believe, Jason, you can help me out, that's never happened before for an organisation to have the REIV awards, #1 salesperson, #1 property management. We've exceeded so many different things. Some offices have had their best year and actually working into the next. So as much as we reflect on everything that we have been taken away from us, there's been a lot of great stuff that's actually come through. And it was like the other day, I sat in my office with Mel, and she goes, oh, this and that. And I said, Mel's been awesome. And I turned around and said, you know what? As an industry, we were still allowed to operate. We got 30 more days than we thought we were going to get. We're still restricted at the moment, as what happened to me the other day. I can't actually have a meeting with 22 people or 20 people, but we can all go out for lunch and get together. So it's still not a lot of common sense out there, but you know what? Who cares? Because the simple fact is we're all in here today, tomorrow, and the next day, when we never actually thought, we didn't know what was going to happen at that end of March, early April. Lockdown got back, we thought this, but obviously as it become more real as an organisation, we've become so much better. But you can't become better unless the people around you want to be better, and you guys have all contributed to that, and I thank you so much. So today, as I reflect around, I'm going to go to a few people, and please put your hand up, or just message me if you've got something to say or want to contribute to something, or have had an unbelievably great experience through this that you can share with us. But I'm just sort of reflecting on what's actually happened. I don't know how many Collective Wednesdays we've done. I've lost count of our Collective Fridays. I've lost count of our training. And let's be honest, I've lost count of how many Zoom meetings I've had. And the number one thing I've lost count of, saying in a Zoom meeting, and I hope of this, you're on mute. So please unmute before you go, because how many times have you been in a meeting, says, Helen, what's going on? Oh, Helen, you're on mute. Or Jace, you're on mute. So that's the new saying from 2020, you're on mute. Now, sometimes I wish, the one thing that I will miss coming out of this is not being able to mute people, because there's many times that I've had the luxury of muting people. And I wish he's in here, Rod Capuano. Nothing gives me greater pleasure than muting Rod Capuano. So I hope you're recording this, Shelley. You can send this to him. On Friday, when all the directors come up, I wish I had a mute button for him on Friday, because he'll be like this guy just exploding. So I'm going to miss muting people, but I'm also not going to miss, unmuting. You're on mute. So guys, I'll take you around the room, share some of your experience, how you felt, what you've learned from it. And I suppose I'm going to lead with you, Jace, because as an organisation, you're only as good as your leadership, and your leadership has been outstanding. And, you know, we've seen you stand up enormous this year, and, you know, from that perspective. But what have you taken from it? What have you achieved? And certainly some giveaways from it.
Dean, I haven't actually counted anything actually in terms of Zoom meetings, so I didn't bother starting to do that. So I'm glad that you actually made an effort. But no, life's a long journey, I think, isn't it? Really, and I think it's having those moments, and this is one of those moments that we'll reflect on. And I believe that you know, I think within my team, or I don't call it mine, but within our team, I suppose, within corporate and the offices, that that people will look at each other in ways where we've experienced something. You know, it's quite, you know, I don't want to call it special, but, you know, there's a special bond that's created by it. So, you know, one of the sayings that Henry Ford said, that the team that actually, I'm not going to quote it correctly, but that stays together, or keeps together, stays together, succeeds together, something like that. And I'm a big believer that I believe that we're on the road to great success, particularly the people that remained in real estate. I think over the last 3 years, including obviously a Royal Commission as part of that, it defies you, not defines you, not defies you, but you try and make it, ensure that it doesn't define. Yeah, hang on, I'm getting my words mixed up. But I think connection is really important. Having a bit of fun. You know, if I read that book, Trillion Dollar Coach, is that he always starts off a meeting with a thank you, and something we do in our team now, where we thank someone within the team about how they actually helped the other person succeed in their job for the week. And we talk a bit about relationships and how we appreciate people and all the relationship we have with that person. Because, you know, I suppose we are an O'Brien family, and connecting like that within corporate has probably been the strongest it's been ever. In fact, it's probably been, you know, through all this whole experience, it's probably been the most profound experience I've had in my whole life. So, yeah, it's great leadership from, I suppose, from you and everyone that's in the business and the culture, because that's really what gets us through at the end of the day. We, as long as we stay motivated, as long as we stay, I suppose, hungry for growth in ourselves, we can't really go wrong. We can learn everything as we go. We've got that. So that's pretty much what I've learnt or been reminded of during COVID.
I'm going to go down to Peter Clark, because Clarky, was it last year you and I were up in Seattle and we got to see Dr. Edward Halliwell, and one of the things he did for us, or he did for me anyway, I don't know how you were coping at the moment. You probably were out a little bit later than I am. You're a little bit younger than I am. But one of the key things, he taught us that, you know, the vitamin C, didn't he? Connect, the vitamin C. And who would have thought to be sitting here nearly 12, well, less than, let's say 6 months later or 12 months later, because that was April, wasn't it? It was actually April. And then in April, we never thought we'd pull it into play and never truly get a grip on it. But the luxury of actually being to a guy who told us there's no more better connection than the vitamin C, or there's no better recipe or medicine than vitamin C, and that's Vitamin Connect. How's your team handled it? More importantly, how have you handled it? And given the fact that, you know, you've been in and out of Metro, you've had a brand change at the same time, you've had a lot going on. Please don't tell me you're on mute after everything I just said. No? Are you there, Clarky? I think we've lost him. Was it me?
I was there.
Yeah, you got us now. I think you got to be a bit closer. Yeah, no luck, buddy. I'm sorry about that. I might have to see. I'll go to someone else, across to Danielle up the top there, because you're on my left-hand screen. While Clarky gets to see what's going on with that. How have you found it this year? Obviously, what you've learned from the start of the year. You guys have also had a brand change late last year, haven't you? So, you've been a massive part of the experience, but more importantly, your team. And I see some people in the background there with you. So obviously being back in the office is a lot nicer than where it was before.
Sure is. So this is Priya, everybody. She's started with us on Monday. So I suppose the biggest lesson that...
She came back, Danielle. That's good.
Yeah, she came back. How good's that, Chase? I'm right. Tuesday morning was a good day because she came back after Monday. It was awesome. So that's actually what I was going to say, Dean. We obviously joined the team not long before this all happened, and it was all very new and lots of new stuff happening and lots of new lessons being learned anyway. But I can say wholeheartedly, hand on heart, without corporate support and everyone in this room support, and everyone that's not in this room that's part of the property management network, I think it's literally been everyone in our team anyway. We talk about it all the time, the support that we get from everyone within our community and our family is unbelievable. And I suppose the other biggest lesson that I've learned is you can't control the uncontrollable. And, you've just got to get on with it and do what you can. And that's, that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. So I think for me personally, I feel like I've done a lot of growing over COVID and learnt to be a better leader. I've always sort of considered myself, in terms of support for the girls. I don't know if they'll disagree. Any one of you can jump in or not. But, I think that we needed to be each other's, support during this time, and it's been awesome. And we've really, really grown a lot as a team.
Can you, when you reflect back, how long ago was March? Like, it was the end of March, wasn't it? I think.
Wasn't it like 3 years ago?
3 years ago. We went to a wedding. I think we went to the last wedding, with Anastasia. We were invited to a wedding on that last night before lockdown. We're driving back from the Mornington Peninsula knowing, oh my God, what's going to happen next? How's your life been since that? Obviously from that wedding, and more importantly, like, we knew nothing was going to happen, was it? We didn't know what was going to happen that night. Next day, everyone was worried about it, and it does feel like 3 years ago since then.
Sure does.
Are you talking to me, Dean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who would have thought? I was just driving through Rye last night and noticed that all the carnival trucks have arrived, and that was the last thing we were starting to expect. But yeah, I can't believe that was only March, and it was actually a great night as well, that wedding. So yeah, a lot's happened. But I was a bit like you. I enjoyed some of lockdown. I certainly enjoyed. It was a great time for self-reflection and self-assessment. And I did really well, because I think that with the support that we've had from corporate, it was a great opportunity to connect with people that perhaps weren't as connected as we were. So yeah, it's great. But it's great. You can all come down and visit us now. The peninsula is on fire. We're back. So we're really excited about that. And looks like it's going to be a big summer down here. So come and visit us, everyone. Come and have some time on the beach.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I'm heading down there tomorrow. So everyone knows that it's open up. I'm playing golf tomorrow down at St Andrews. So I'll be down there sometime tomorrow, which I'm really looking forward to. The weather, hopefully the weather stays like it is with not too much wind, but that's not. We've
ordered a good day for you, Dean. Don't worry.
Thank you very much. Harry Turner, I'm going to cross to you, Harry, because you've got a couple in there. And here's a guy that first time I never thought I'd do, employ someone over Zoom. Generally like to shake someone's hand. Wasn't allowed to do that. Get to meet, do that too. But we got it. Started with us, done a super job, but never done that before. So it's a first. How have you gone? Now you're back in the office. You got someone there beside you, and you're certainly working through it.
Yeah, got Mimi Boyle here. I think it's this second week. First week was a bit difficult. Thinking you can be in the office to do some training and then have to go home for a bit, and yeah.
So Danielle, we've done a good job. You've got 1 day, we've got 2 weeks, so it's not too bad. So we're just that little bit on top. See if Priya's there in 2 weeks. We'll have that conversation later. So mate, talk about that. You changed the brand. You changed the whole thing. You've got obviously a young family at the same time. Must have been nervous, but at the same time, sitting back now, how do you feel?
I was nervous, you're right, but I had a lot of people rooting for me who I'd never even met before. You know, I hadn't met yourself properly, and I hadn't met Kat or Mel, but they were already in the corner backing me, which made it a lot easier. Made me feel part of the family pretty much straight away. So it's been a massive help. And you know, changing brands and doing COVID for 2 different brands, I can agree with everybody says that the support that comes from corporate here is just next to none. It's just awesome.
Yeah, and it's pretty good. But I'm going to go to Leslie now because Peter's just texted me and said he's got too many devices. But Leslie, you'll actually tell me what he's like to work with, because how long you've been with him now?
This is week 3.
Well, I reckon you've probably outstayed more than any other operations manager or general manager that's ever been there. So congratulations, Leslie. But how's it all going?
It's going really well. The team are phenomenal. I think they've had a long year. They're all looking forward to a Christmas break. So I'm trying to ease myself into asking questions. But no, it's been really good. The team are fantastic. I'm working on planning now for 2021. But yeah, no, Peter's terrific. I've got to say that. He is. He's really good. Very professional. As we've talked, this is my first time in this industry. I came from a travel, airline, tourism background. But everything has been very professional. The marketing, the collateral, the team, the branding, the uniforms. It's really good, and it's really nice to be in Warragul. It's a lovely place.
So Clarkie, have we got you there now or not, mate? No, that's like, this is another time I get a chance to shut someone up, which is you, Pete, which is great, because that can often happen. Be hard to do at times. We certainly know that. We spent 3 days in a car the other day, and I reckon we're all fighting for air and all that. So Helen, I'll go down there. I reckon you've had one of the toughest times through this. I've got to be honest. You know, between your retail, your commercial, your industrial, you know, your team, your lockdown, your holiday lets. I mean, you and I have spoken about it. We've often resolved a couple of things from a drink or something, but how are you guys going now, up to now probably your busiest time? You've gone from the hardest time to your busiest time. How's it going down there, Helen? Oh no. Is it Helen too? Is this me, guys, or am I the only one?
Can you hear me now?
Gotcha now. Gotcha.
Don't know what it was. Yeah, it has been a challenging year for everybody that I know, not only our business, everyone there. And yeah, I was say what everyone else says. Thank you for your support, which was good. Yeah, but we certainly have had gone with a handbrake on for our holiday department to all systems go. We are just so busy, really long, good quality bookings, not just, you know, weekends here and there, but they're wanting 2 weeks and 3 weeks. The calendar is just so full, which is really good to see. We've gone from 2 holiday property managers to 4.5. And they are just on their bums, just working out booking after booking, which is great to see. Sales has gone really busy too, which is just in hindsight, the year, you got to admit the year has kind of gone really quickly. When you sort of look back and think, oh, that was March. It seems like yesterday, but years ago, sort of thing. And we never hit stage 4, so you know it's been hard for us, but we've been lucky too.
And as you said, it's gone unbelievably quick. We've forgotten about some of those conversations in April and May because we're just moving so quick to Christmas, isn't it?
And that's it. It goes quick, sort of puts a little bit of perspective in. That's how quickly life goes too. But just being such a memorial year, this 2020, with what has happened, life just speeds by so quickly.
And I've got Sharon down the bottom here. How you going, Sharon? Now, you've worked in that office at the same time, and we know who obviously we've got Helen here, who always is the most greatest supporter going around, but you've had your ups and downs in that office, haven't you, as well? Yeah, I agree. That's why she wins company values hand down. And I mean, just no problem in the world how much she convinced. But how well has she handled it, more importantly, and how is the team down there from your perspective?
The team's pretty buoyant, actually. Helen's just been amazing. She is so supportive and she just mothers all of us, and we love that about her. She's just, she's a very special person. But part of that has meant that the team has actually really going pretty good, to be honest. You know, we've had our ups and downs, as all teams do. We have our little family tiffs, as families do too. But, you know, we're all still here, which is a credit to Helen and the way she's managed us and kept us all going and supported us through what's been a really strange year for many of us. So can't thank her enough for that. And for me personally, this last month, we've done the best ever month we have ever done in commercial and strata. So I can't say better than that. It's been a great month this November. So we're all raging and raring to go for Christmas and New Year.
Now, isn't it amazing to say that you had the best ever month in strata and commercial, but it was only a few months ago. We've had, well, let's say 5 months ago, it was not the place you wanted to hang out, was it?
Absolutely
it was
not.
People meeting keys back in, just walking away, dealing with landlords. So to see a smile on your face and to smile on Helen's face, I think that's outstanding. So congratulations. And
Thank
to
you.
actually hear that you've had your best ever month, I think that's even better again. So well done, yeah?
Thank you.
I might go across to Michelle Winch there, because you've actually got a new job. You've had a new job role in there. Everything's open up. How are you going at the moment? And how's your week been?
I'm going really, really well. Christine is fantastic, and yeah, a lot of that pressure and that's gone, so I'm happy with that, and I'm just embracing the new role and still learning some things and that, just sort of, you know, with the operational side, but I'm finding it quite exciting and eager to learn more.
And
Yeah.
you know, it's fair to say, and I can say this, you were pretty hands-on in your property management. It was your baby, wasn't it? You own that.
Yeah.
How is letting go going for you at this point in time? This will be. I got Anastasia's now taking real. She's actually noticed she's getting closer to the screen.
I know. She's just over there.
But
Okay,
I'd love to hear this answer, because I'm going to go tell you now, I've sat in that office in meetings with Anastasia, Michelle, and it's like, it's hers, it's mine. No, I'll do it. Look, let's be honest. You're very controlling over your little property management business that you're running there. How are you going letting go? And, you know, are you there yet completely? You're still a little bit, or more importantly, are you well, you said you're enjoying the new role,
Yeah.
but you enjoy letting go.
Well, basically, we did discuss this earlier on in the year. So it was a bit of a goal, and I must admit there have been times where I've struggled with it, especially maybe just not even telling anyone that, just things going on in my head. How am I going to do this? I love it. How am I going to, you know, tell some of my landlords that? And then, I don't know, it sort of came to a crunch, and we got Christine and that, and it was probably only a week before I just went, yeah, boom, take it. And now I'm not getting all the phone calls and everything, and I'm actually really, really liking it.
And is that not a great lesson, Anastasia, that, you know, she's a great property manager, I should say, Michelle's a great property manager, but she was very much, but the ability to grow within the business you provided, which is credit to you. But, you know, is it exciting for you to see that as well?
It is great to see that, but we were just in the kitchen and she took off her headset and she said, I don't even need that anymore. No one calls me. So she had a little bit of a hissy fit. So she's not actually as letting go as we would like. But I do think that it's much easier to let go when we recruited Christine. So I think Michelle was thrilled with that, and she was part of that recruitment process. And so replacing herself is a lot easier than bringing someone in that she wasn't happy with. But
Yeah.
I reckon we were talking about it for 2 years before she finally actually was prepared to let me employ someone else. So it took a while, but we got there. She's great.
I think it made a big difference too, because Christine is as experienced as what she is, and so I don't have to. She's just got on with it. Where if it was maybe someone that was new to the industry, I would have probably been going, oh, I'll just do it. So I'm not doing that. I'm actually letting go.
Did you see how she just said that? How cool is that?
I'm so much calmer now. I'm like...
You actually look like you've had a glass of champagne today. You're that calm, saying that word, let go. So
I look like this all the time.
So congratulations. But you know what? Where's Sarah? Because Sarah's probably experienced lockdown. Sarah up the top and the right there. Because she jumped off a plane from a 2-week holiday in Hawaii to come to a 2-week lockdown and probably didn't know what the hell was going on. So she literally had to get off the plane, didn't know what was happening, drove straight home and was in 2 weeks. Did you ever think the year was going to be like this, Sarah, when you got off that plane from from an aspirational holiday in Hawaii?
It was like that movie Tomorrow Where the War Began, where they go out camping and then they come back and they've been taken over. That's what it was like. I went on holiday and then I came home to a different Australia where we came back just before the borders closed, literally made the cut by an hour, then got rushed on another plane to get to Sydney, and then it was get in your house, stay in your house. Didn't have anything to eat in our fridge or our cupboard. But that's okay because we couldn't get anything at Coles either because the shelves were empty. I didn't think it would be like this.
And more importantly, who would have thought we'd ever run out of toilet paper in Australia? Where toilet paper was actually a form of currency. I've forgotten about that in my little notes at the front. Toilet paper, I remember coming home. My daughters walked in with a big bag of toilet paper and just started throwing the rolls around the house going, "We're rich, Dad, we're rich." And I think to myself, okay, if toilet paper is, I'm happy to make allowance in toilet paper, the pocket money in toilet paper. That would have been awesome moving forward. But and you've come back and had a really big year, haven't you? You've had a great year. It's been exhausting, but
yeah, it's just been a bit of a whirlwind actually. You just got to do what you got to do to get it done.
But it's going to be a year to remember. So I'm going to go across now, and thanks for all your good work. You've been amazing, by the way, as you said, as we move forward. But Anna Molinaro, you've been there, and look, how do you? You've won a couple of awards. We're no doubt about that. But now you've got people back in your office. Has life changed?
Life is the greatest it's ever been. I'm so excited to have Zora here with me. I'm loving it. I've even got Frank and Lena upstairs. It is so good. We had Lucy in earlier today. She's gone to do school pickup and all of that. She's in here as well. I can see Priya in here. It's so good to see the team. It is so good to be back in the office. Like, honestly, Dean, I've never been happier to return to work. Like, I don't want to work from home ever again. I've loved it. It's just so good. But again, just back in what everybody else has said, the support at corporate has been phenomenal. There's been countless times I've spoken with both Jason's, Michelle, Stace, Ash. I've texted you a few times with all the award nominations and all the rest of it, Dean and Hutchie and Stav. And, the support you guys continually give, and it's not just through COVID, it's before COVID, it's going to be after, no doubt. You've got our back every step of the way, and it's just so great to have that, support in everything that we do. So thank you.
And I just reckon it's so cool. So I want to go across to Shelley down there at corporate. Shelley's had to work from home with her partner as well, Craig. And how are you finding being back at work? And now you are on mute, by the way.
I know, I'm getting there. Loving being back at work. I have a new dimension to my relationship at home. We can talk about things.
We often make a joke about the fact that work, especially in real estate, I'm quite lucky because my wife does not care one bit about real estate. If anything, if I bring it up, it's like, don't want to know, Dean, it not interested, it annoys me, don't want to talk about it. So I'm quite lucky with that. But working from home and obviously having all this pressure from, people working together, I know it's really hard. But I suppose Caitlin, I'll go to Caitlin up here, Valo, who started with us, and a young girl. How you found lockdown? Like, Caitlin, if you want to share us your story, how old are you? And obviously, did you ever think in your life you'd be locked in at home with mum and dad?
So being 19, it was a bit of a struggle, trying to stay focused, and there's so many things around me, like a TV and my phone. It was very hard, and especially having both my parents home, we were one's on a phone call and the other one's on another phone call. It was very hard to just find that time to yourself, I guess. And
are you still talking to mum and dad?
I normally come home and I just go straight to my room. It's crazy.
It is crazy, and I often look at it and say how lucky I was. My three girls are they're 13, 13 and 12, and they didn't really, I reckon they've enjoyed lockdown, but I forget about a 19-year-old actually being locked down, not being able to go out on a weekend. I know I would have gone crazy. Look, to be honest, I know Jason Mudford would, because the days he used to spend at the tunnel, I think he was one of the ones that actually had the, Jace, well, you're a tunnel man, because we went, if you don't know the tunnel, Rose just laughing now because I know he spent his time at the tunnel. I can see that. But more importantly, it's now Holy Moly, isn't it, Jace?
No, it's never not the same now, mate. But I didn't realise actually at Holy Moly and it was a tunnel, like, because I didn't really take much of the attention to the entrance. But when I went inside, I sort of mapped out and sort of relived a few moments. Yeah, that was a great place. I was there every Thursday and Sunday nights without fail.
And how have you dealt with your boys? I should have asked that because you've got, you know, Liam and Oliver, and how are they gone through the whole lockdown?
Oh, they've been doing Macca's shift flat out. So they both work at Macca's, and the whole family's connected a lot more, I can tell you now. It's been really good that point of view. And, you know, 2 kids are, 15 and 17 years old. So pretty remarkable. I suppose to them sometimes, you probably worry about them a bit, but they seem to get through it pretty well. I don't know about myself being at their age and being in a lockdown situation, but kids are different in how they communicate these days, and they seem to do all right in that regard. But a few more family dinners together, which was great.
I think that's probably been one of the greatest takeaways, isn't it? And Para, I've got you here in the middle. Para, I know Matt and I were talking about you last night. You got a chance to meet Matt Dewan and talk to him and everything. And he was commenting on how well you're going. How are you finding the change and obviously working back in the office with your team?
Well, I'm so much excited to get back work. I'm doing my best. When I spoke to during this lockdown, a few of my friends, they lost their job, and then Jesus suddenly cried. I feel so depressed. I don't have any words to say what I need to say to them. I feel bad, but at the same time, I have a work. I'm very happy that I'm being busy during this lockdown when some people doesn't have work and everything. I'm so lucky, and I'm so lucky to get back to work and started doing my work properly.
Yeah, and the office has become more important for a lot of people. You forget about how it really does drive and, is a place of belonging. Judy, yourself there, how about yourself? What's the thing you've learned, and what's the big thing for 2021 maybe? Something we can look at as well. I'm not too sure what star pickets and fences caps are in the new toilet paper. So can you tell me what that means as well?
Oh, I've been doing fencing and I've been driving everywhere trying to get star pickets and caps. New horses come in. It's like buying toilet paper. You can't get it anywhere. It's giving me the irrits. I don't know. Everything's just been flowing along smoothly. We've got a really good team everywhere, like everyone else. But my one person who's been terrific is Brad, because he's an absolute crack up. You hold a finger in the air and he just makes you laugh. So you don't get a chance to sort of sit and dwell on anything. But it's been busy. I've got a few things in pipeline for January and February with developments that I'm working on. So, yeah, it'll come across. It's all good. I'm happy.
And Brad, obviously a long time, and I can see he's in here at the moment, but we can't see his face. He is good, isn't he? He's a calming influence down with you, isn't he?
Oh, he makes you laugh. I got some of the team up to my place on Friday night and we just ordered pizzas and sat in the middle of 37 acres. It was a nice hot night. We just sat there and watched the world go by. Never laughed so much in all our lives. It was really good to catch up with everyone and just, get together. We're like a very good family. But that goes right across the board for all the teams through the offices.
And I think that's one of the important things we've been able to reflect on, small things, isn't it? Like once upon a time, it was the big things that mattered. I think the one thing that I've learned from this, and I'll take this back to you, Anna, because it was your mum who said it last Friday, wasn't it? And she was so strong. And I asked, I did say, oh, what have you learned from it? And Lena put her hand up, can I answer this one? Which I haven't seen for the last 6 months, by the way. She sat in a lot of meetings, but I've never seen her take control. And I learned, okay, I've worked out who the boss in that family is by a mile. When she wants something, she gets it. So what was it your mum said? And just remind us of how important it was for her.
I think it was, it's really important for her, but it was something along the lines of be grateful what we've got now and not what we want to have. So appreciate what we have right now. Yes, we've been through COVID. Yes, it's been a challenging time for everyone in so many industries, but hey, we're in Australia. It could be worse off. We've still got jobs. We've got corporate backing us. We've got our own team. We've got great family and friends. So I think it's be grateful for what we have now rather than what we want to have.
And she was pretty strong on making that point out, wasn't she? She was taking control of that conversation at that point in time, which was really, really cool. So it's like, and isn't it interesting? And I'm sure she would have had a great night the other night for her birthday, by the way. So wish her a happy what do they call it? Belonged happy birthday for me, which I haven't had a chance. But
have a camera on the PC there on upstairs, but she can certainly hear all of this, and she's watching in. So thank you very much. Have a lovely day. Thanks, Dean.
And just as well, I didn't say anything wrong, wasn't I? Didn't know that was happening. I thought I had the complete under control. So happy birthday, Lena. So that's it. Look, guys, I'm going to finish it up here because, you know, there's a lot going on. You're doing some great work. It's been another Collective Wednesday. It's been our last one for the year. I thank Anastasia for making me do this again. As I said at the start, I was doing the Collective Fridays. Anastasia rang me up and he goes, why can't we can we get the Collective Wednesdays come back? Absolutely. So again, little miss, but a great return from that side of it. From O'Brien Real Estate, if I don't get to see you before Christmas or I see you in the new year, I want you to have the most safest and happy Christmas you've ever had. I cannot thank you for your support, more for your support. You've been amazing as a team, as a unit. And I know, you know, you're the reason why we come to work every day and want to make the place better, because we have people like yourselves that enjoy what we do and are invested in us. So thank you for a great year. More importantly, thank you for being part of the O'Brien family. And as I say, mate, I want you guys to have the greatest and safest Christmas ever. And just remember, the small things matter. It's not the big things. It's just be grateful for what we've got. Yeah. All good. Stay safe. Talk soon.